Keynote, the Agile Regulator, Frameworks for a Digital Age. Let me, first of all, invite from outside Nigeria to join the panel, Mr. Ahmed Kamil Kamara from Guinea, who is the president of NTIC HAC Guinea. You may wish to come forward and take one of the seats on the edge. As you know, they are also a regulatory agency, and Guinea has been in the forefront of working multimedia over the years, and so they get the idea of how to manage regulating media that is mushrooming everywhere. And I'd like to invite to keep him company the man who has asked us all to come here, a seasoned legal expert with over 2 decades of experience on intellectual property, corporate law, and regulatory expertise. Please help me welcome the Director General NBC, Mr. Charles Ewebo, who will come and join the gentleman from Guinea to have us speak to the issues at hand. Please allow me now to invite Dr. Akin Bolu, Executive Director of the Center for Media and Society. He's a renowned media expert who focuses on media development, pluralism, and community radio. He has a PhD in communications from the University of Ibadan. Let me welcome him to join this panel. I'd also like to invite to join at this point Dr. Akin Bolu. Oh, Dr. Akin Bolu has already made his way to the podium. Pardon me. I would like to call on the DG ACON, Mr. Lalekon Fadolapo, who is a fellow of multiple professional institutes, who has a PhD in marketing, and he has leadership roles across the industry. Please help me welcome him to the podium. He has been very much involved in leading the intellectual property area of field, and we're very proud of the work that he has brought to the table. Thank you very much. And all, thank you very much. Welcome. Oh, he's represented by Barrister Chukwudi Eziaba, Head Legal, ACON, representing the DG ACON. I'd like at this point to invite to join us the only lady after both of us compares today, because I'm an equal opportunities employer, and if there was no woman, I would have deployed and hired and fought and found a woman who fits the bill. But today, we're very happy to have joining us Sandra Oyewole Esquire. And she is very much at home with intellectual property and technology law. She has that practice and co-leads the employer practice at DLA Piper Africa. She is a lead in the technology sector and advisory across multimedia. We're very happy to have you join us. We're very proud of you. We believe that if we have Sandra in the room, we also have the representative of Dr. Vincent Olatunji, DG Nigeria Data Protection, the person of Ibukun Oluwa Owa, whose expertise and experience in the legal profession has been on data protection, arbitration, and she is certified in information privacy in Europe, and she has a private sector and public sector expertise, and she is involved with law practices across the world, in Hamburg, in London, and in Nigeria. It's always good to see a woman doing such a great job of what she does. I want to believe that this brings to a close my entire panelists. Juggling between 6 brilliant people can be a hard job, and I'd like to ask my co-anchor person, Francis, to lend me a chair so I can sit here. Yes, just get me a chair so I can sit in that corner. While all that is going on, I want you to please remember that this particular area of field that we're going to talk about is very specialized, and we're extremely lucky that we have Dr. Ndukwe, who already set the tone for us with the conversations we had earlier in the day. Now that conversation, as a keynote speaker, immediately told us that 3 decades ago, media pluralism was minimal. And this topic is the Agile Regulator, Frameworks for a Digital Age. How do we regulate with innovation without shifting things around? How are we able to cope? How are we able to look at those things that we need to work on and the things that we need as regulators to be prepared for? How are we able to do the things we need to do so that we do not fall on our faces while regulating? My name is Eugenia Abu. I'm a multimedia strategy expert, a broadcaster, a teacher, a consultant, and a columnist. I'm very delighted to join you today. Okay, so I will sit here a little bit in front of the podium so you can see me while I kick off the questions that are important to us on this panel. Let's start by asking every panelist to speak to what does agility really mean? What does it mean to say somebody is proactive? What does it mean to say that a regulator is agile? Following the times and the trends in the face of just trying to ensure that you are regulating things that seem like they're leaving your hand. And I'd like to start with you.
So thank you very much to Madam Moderator, and she actually took the words right out of my mouth when she commented on the fact that if you look at the program, the majority, in fact pretty much all the panelists, including the original moderator, were gentlemen. So it is my absolute pleasure to be representing the female gender here with Madam Moderator, as well as our interpreter. So in terms of this question, it's a very important question in the digital age. Why is it important? I mean, we all believe we know the meaning of the word agile. It means you're fast-paced. It means that you know what to do and you're proactive. Why are we talking about agility in the digital age? It is extremely important. As we all know, we're dealing with what they call artificial intelligence and other emerging technologies, which are fast-paced. Their computing power, we've never seen it before. We don't actually know the extent to which these emerging technologies are going to go. And in this day and age, we can't have a situation where regulation is playing catch-up. We need a situation whereby regulation allows for innovation, but also allows for the safety of the general public. And that's where the agility comes in. And there's several examples as to what constitutes an agile regulator. And I think maybe I should stop there and hand over to the next panelist. Thank you.
Thank you. I will be more short than my predecessor. For me, the first thing in agility is to be able to anticipate, then to react. Means laws have to adapt before digital, before the new technologies. That's the first thing I think. And the second one is the co-regulation. The regulators don't have to regulate by themselves. They have to regulate with society. They have to regulate with broadband people. And the last one also is the experience then to be freezed. What do I mean by that? Is innovation. Creating new action, new things before we get already in front of the situation. Like what is happening now with the new technologies that are growing, and that our laws are behind. So now for the beginning, I will stop with that.
Are you able to manage that? I think media should come and activate our microphones. You can't leave them to us. I work with microphones all the time, but they all have different. So media should please come and regulate our microphones. Is this working?
Hello. Okay, this is working.
All right, great.
Thank you.
Yes.
From the standpoint of the MBC, I would say an agile regulator is one whose complete action end-to-end is data-driven. So when you talk about capacity, do you understand where the trends are going, what is, and where it is transiting to? I mean, with AI has been said, and machine learning, digital platforms, and so many innovations that are rolling out. Are you keeping abreast of what developments are in the industry? Are you taking information when it comes to research that drives policy, where you're able to see where things are going, and you have a perspective on where you need to have interventions? I mean, as a regulator, you would allow innovation, but you also have to put certain checkpoints in place so that you don't get pulled away into a void. So for you to be agile, end to end, it's your education, it's your capacity, it's using data to drive policies, and also to have a perspective on developments in the industry.
Using data to drive policy. You heard our three speakers. Our next three speakers will speak to the issue of what does it mean to be an agile regulator. Please, sir.
Thank you very much. Let me come from this perspective. We've been giving some conceptual clarification. We have said agility will involve flexibility, ability to act quickly, swiftly, to be able to reach trends and develop implementation and so on and so forth. I agree with all that. And I'd like to say that for a regulator to be agile, it has to be independent. A captive regulator cannot be agile, especially at a time when innovation is required, when you have to move fast in the digital era. A situation where you have a regulator that cannot act, and if he has to take action, regulatory activity has to go through an Israelite journey whose completion time is unknown. That's important. Secondly, I think that funding resources at a time like this for a regulator to be agile, it has to be properly resourced. And I'm not seeing that. So, regulator, consistent, secure resource of the regulator. The third I'd like to talk about will be the issue of the environment, especially the physical environment, to enable it to work. Digital broadcasting program has been on getting close to 30 years now, on and on, and the legal framework is still not in place. So meaning that everything that's being done has no legal basis. We are not on that legal pedestal. So for the regulator to be agile, it has to have a good, properly seated legal framework. Let me leave it at that.
Thank you very much indeed. Our next speaker will speak to the same issue for a couple of minutes, and after our last speaker has spoken, then we'll take some targeted questions.
All right, thank you. The Agile Regulator is a regulator who should be able to keep at least a step ahead of the regulated. Agile Regulator is one who understands deeply the area that is being regulated, what is being regulated, the challenges of the space that is being regulated, and being able to proactively solve the problems of those that have been regulated. And again, such regulators should be capable of enforcing compliance, making sure that the policies is set up to regulate its space is being compliant. And again, another regulator should be one that conducts periodic research to understand that the dynamic of the industry shifts from time to time, and be able to be proactive in attending to issues of regulatory compliance, and making sure that the people who are to benefit from the regulation are not stifled by the regulation. The regulator is
Provided. They don't strangle those that they are regulating.
They shouldn't regulate to strangulate.
I hear you. Let's go to the final speaker on that particular topic of who indeed is an agile regulator.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Dr. Vincent Latinji, the CEO of the Nigerian Data Protection Commission, I say thank you very much to the NBC for inviting us to this very important event and topic. So I will be answering my questions from 4 main points. The first one being that I think it's very important for a regulator in our space to be creative and innovative, particularly regarding how digital economy keeps expanding and increasing every day. One of the ways that which we did that at the Commission was a recent and public notice that we issued identifying over 1,000 companies for non-compliance in 5 key sectors. And the ripple effect that has had on the economy and compliance has been amazing, and it's actually been our strongest awareness measure. So that's one. The second one is collaboration. It's very important to collaborate with innovators and people that are using these products and implementing technologies in this space. And why is this important? It's because you're able to provide some sort of guidance to them as they're trying to comply. And then they're now able to see what is the value of compliance, so that way they see it not as a regulatory body, but something that adds value to their business. And we did that with the startup ecosystem recently at the Commission. The third way is through ensuring that you have frameworks that are widely drafted and interoperable. So meaning that you have frameworks that, because of the way they are drafted, you are able to rely on express provisions that will deal with emerging technologies. And if you look at our Act, for example, if you look at Section 6 and Section 5 regarding our functions and powers, we may not have express provisions regarding a new technology that comes up today, but because of the way it's widely drafted, we will always find provisions to rely on in interpreting the law and in ensuring compliance. And finally, the last one is strong enforcement measures. And it also ties into what one of the speakers said today about independence. If you're not independent and if you're not able to enforce without fear, you would not really be able to be an agile regulator, as nobody will take you seriously. Thank you.